Hello and welcome back to the Dystopia Twitch channel. We are here with the first streamed game of the DYS League. It's been a while since we've been live. Last time it was the spring shootout, about 12 months ago now. But we're here. We're here with the inaugural season of the DYS League. I just want to quickly say thank you to our helps from XYBA and CGL for helping us out. But yeah, we're here. We're live. I'm joined today with Mr. Kiona. How are you going?
Hello, great to be back. Honestly, I think the last time I did this was genuinely during spring shootout. So the fact that we get to run it back for the first time in literally well over a year is really exciting. The production, obviously, we are visible to everybody else currently, so a bit of a change up considering usually you only hear our voices, you get to see a bit of our reaction, so a little bit higher end, but it's going to be a good showing. Really looking forward to it. We'll have a little bit of other casters popping in from time to time as well. It will not just be me and DB, unfortunately, but we'll have other very talented people along the line. But we do have a very good show to be put on today, as we have obviously premiering teams for the stream.
Yeah, so we have this unknown going up against GCS OWLS. So this unknown, their roster, these are names we've seen before, right, Keo? These are names that have been in and around Dystopia. They obviously, this is a home team for us, but we promise we'll be unbiased. We will cast with complete unbiased. But yeah, do you want to walk us through who we've got here?
Yep. So we have our lineup of Winterlicks on the Widowmaker, Primal. Well, this is maybe their comfort picks, but we will put that there. Will probably be a bit of diversification. We have Demons, we have Diametricals, we have Lorvan Allen, we have Kiriko, we have Vimto, and then, of course, we have the Frog. Literally, what I find this interesting is that we have Lucio being Frog, we have Kiriko being Kiriko. Hopefully, maybe Demons is just a demon on Baptiste. Never know.
Please stay on their characters. Please stay on those characters. But then,
who knows?
Facing off against them, we have the GCS Owls, a new team to the sort of Dystopia area. But if you watched the spring shootout, you would have seen the Wolfhounds. They went all the way to the finals last year. And this is a similar roster. They've got a similar core. But yeah, so we have Zani, Ace, AF3ML. That's going to be a really fun name to say midstream. Shine, Lemon01, and Fireman. So this is a diverse roster in terms of what they can bring out, but it's not diverse in their nationality. They are almost entirely Welsh. I want to shout out the almost entirely Welsh roster. Yeah, so they are the two teams that were seeing face off today. I cannot wait to get into this one, mate. I've been all week excited for this, so I think as we're gonna go through a bit of the precursor of look at the map pool, look at the bans, because we do have hero bans in this tournament.
Yeah, we have a ban. So the way we're working it this season is that we're bringing in basically a ban per map per team. So each team is going to go ahead and, depending on whether they win or lose, depending on the map situation, then after that, bans will be put forward by each team kind of in different timelines. But we will have those brought in. We don't also, as casters, we do not know, but we will have a look at our map pool. So for this round 2 of week 1, we have our, I would say, a solid lineup. I think, for me personally, it's a pretty good matchup on any map. I don't think there's any combo C a lot of the time. So we have Antarctic Peninsula, we have Circuit Royale or Circuit Royal, that will forever be a deliberation. We have New Junk City, Kings Row, both regal locations, and then finishing on ye old Kolos Keo, the greatest map of all time.
Okay, well that's incorrect. Either. That is completely incorrect. But yeah, it's a diverse. We're going to see a bit of brawl. We're going to see a bit of poke as we move through this map pool. But in terms of that, should we see the hero bans coming out for the first map of Antarctic Peninsula?
Yes, sir. We have. Okay, I think. Very two dominant, very meta picks, no matter what composition you're playing them in. So we have Dystopia's very unknown, having the Orisa ban, obviously being a absolute menace to any society you put her under, and GCS was actually opting for a Tracer ban. Now, not entirely sure if that's directed towards any member of, considering we did see a Tracer primarily on Unknown's roster. But I think for Antarctic Peninsula, that means we're not going to see an awful lot of flanking. We're going to have to see potentially a little bit of a switch up, because Tracer are very high, like, dive DPS, while Orisa very rush forward, kind of beat down. So there might be a little bit of change up in the compositions. Maybe, as we saw, Lucio Carey could be an option. We may also have something a lot more like Bap, Larry, or even a little bit of Ana. Who knows? But I think we should be good to get into it. So fingers crossed, everything stays well and safe as map 1 on Antarctic Peninsula going to be going forward.
Some big bands there that sort of force different compositions, as you said. So I'm excited to see. I'm guessing this Unknown don't want to play that brawl as such, or they're looking to play like a ram brawl and don't want to have to run it into an Orisa. But yeah, let's get straight into this map as soon as we are ready to go. I know there is a bit of an issue with the code where you have to start the game mode, so hopefully our hosts can deal with that. It was my ability to program workshop codes is not good. I'll put that out there. So apologies for all the teams competing where you have to tick that box every time.
Honestly, there's always going to be one or two things that might seem a little bit maybe just seen as a hassle, but sometimes teams might not just be ready straight off the bat. So having that time in case they do need a message or anything. But here we go, getting into map 1. So we should also mention both teams did lose their first game. So this is technically for a playoff position for both teams. And immediately, wow. Okay, I say that they needed time before the map started. Of course, I get jinxed.
Yeah, I mean, look, no production's a good production if you don't have to pause pretty quickly. But before we jump in that, I have actually been told a bit of information from some of the staff. It hasn't actually been announced yet. This is a complete mess up from me. So while we got a bit of downtime, there's a cash prize pool that has been mentioned, but no one's ever talked about the number. So we are going winner takes all here. It is one pool for the top, and that is £100, Great British pounds, for the winning team. So that is there's 7 teams competing. It was originally 8. Scheduling issue, a team had to drop out, and pretty last minute we haven't replaced anything. But so 7 teams going head to head throughout this, and we will go to the regular season stage. Then we will go into a playoffs, and the winner of the playoffs will get that prize pool. But as you said, these guys are technically fighting for a playoff position right now. So they are 5th and 6th in the table, but the winner will jump up into that 4th spot. Similar to how Cardiff City jumped up to the top spot of the EFL today. Anyway, so yeah, this is a playoff battle as such. We are in week 1 of 3. There is a while to go. So it's not decided yet who the top 4 will be. But yeah, I'm looking forward to some good storylines throughout this season.
Yeah, I think the fact you just mentioned football in an Overwatch stream within about 10 minutes means that this is going to be an absolute spectacle to behold. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we do have some good action. I think necessarily for like a 100, like there's no entry cost into this. This is just teams. I think a major thing about these sort of events is that we hold them. Obviously, it was spring shootout before, and now it's coming into this one. It's going to be pretty interesting to see the level of gameplay. So it's going to be pretty immaculate, I think, to see if any team can take it. I don't know if anyone has any early predictions. As you said, there is 3 weeks, and then we have playoffs and everything. But well, considering the background, I think we've good players in both teams.
Yeah, well, if in terms of predictions, yes, do not know who will get to the top of the board, but currently we've got Jaichul's Academy, which is a completely new roster coming into this tournament. They have swept both games so far, 2 3-0s in a row. But there is, Bliss Marauders are in this. They've had a bye week and they haven't played their first round yet. So they could jump up. That's what I'm saying we're so early days that there is a lot to happen. But to my knowledge, we are good to get back into the map.
Yep. All good. We obviously think
I'm seeing
there's always
some
going to be a few
compositions
issues.
here.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. We do have Lucio on both sides. We have Symmetra, Sojourn, Hazard. First time I'm seeing this.
Surely the Symmetra is just the TP out. Yeah, so Vimto
Yep.
both going
Genji
to
for
the Genji. Yes, right. So we're going to see the teams both looking to match on this high ground here. Everyone wants to control the high ground on this point. It's so dominant. An early slow from AF there is going to allow Unknown to get straight in there, and Diametricals does exactly that. Finds Ace on the flank, gets on, gets the headshot, finishes Ace instantly, and now Unknown are looking to just run on that advantage. They've already forced the Immortality out. They've got point control. Diametricals is just eating dinner right now in their front line as they get the point flipped over.
Yeah, like, the thing with this Hazard comp is that they are just going to want to get in. Nixo really, and potentially Demon's going to want to sit back, but the core three of Kiriko on Lucio, a bit like how I foretold before. Diametricals, though, is still holding that space. Going to go in with Vimto. Brilliant slash on the Zane.
Yeah, Diametricals just catching Zani, but AF has followed it up with getting Vimto. A bit scrappy at the moment, everyone's everywhere. Diametrical is able to get a few, but again, scrappy back and forth. Now, Unknown still have control of the point here, so even if they're losing, they're at an advantage currently. AF and Lemon are just trying to hold on here, as Unknown had to take a little bit of a kite.
Yeah, Diametricals was the last to die in that fight. Now, even on Hazard, you are not going to be able to get back that fast. OWLS are going to try and take this point. They are on 40%, racking up. Hazard back in the fight, but Ramatra is a literal unkillable machine. AF just punching away, trying to go into the backline onto Nixo, and to Vimto with the double alongside Shine. They're going to get that point pretty swiftly, I must say. There wasn't much contention from Unknown.
I really love the link-up play there, I just want to say. So I honestly thought that AF got the kill right at the start to open that fight up. He was punching. And I look at the kill feed, and Shine is the one that got that. So surely, you know, that is something we need to be watching out for.
Yeah, like, the core between those two, I think the same goes with between the Hazard and Ramatra kind of dynamic. There is also the change of the window from Baptiste and the Kiriko. This window is going to prove really heavy on the high ground. Rest of Unknown are trying to walk around, but they aren't there all the way. Here goes Kitsune Rush from Demons. Gonna have to try and prove to force their way through this OWLS.
Yeah, he's popped the Kitsune, but he took so much damage that Unknown had to back out of it. But there we have it. AF has opened it with his ult, but he's been caught. Zani was caught with the... Oh, Nixo. Oh, Nixo, you beautiful, beautiful Sojourn. He has just picked up a 3-kill with his ultimate and taken down AF to finish the fight. OWLS are holding on to this point, though.
Shine is holding on to this Shine, I think is the correction.
What was that? A 10% hold there?
Yeah, roundabout. I must say, though, that Diametrical's ult hitting 2 in the back line, allowing Nixo to pick up those free overclock shots, really seemed to solidify that map, well, that fight win. There is going to be a beat and a blade coming from Unknown. However, both DPS ults with a sound barrier from Lemon to back it for OWLS might just be able to push through as Shine gets an early pick.
Yeah, the beats had to come out early. Vimto's gone in and found Zani, and Vimto is he's trying to make something happen. So beat comes out from Lemon to stabilize GCS OWLS, but Dire is just pumping the damage into their backline. AF is the one who finds Demons, though, and I think OWLS are going to take this one right here. It's 90% for Unknown. They're going to get a little bit percentage. Vimto getting a tiny stagger there. Wow, I honestly thought that fight could go both ways as it went on.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, for OWLS actually committing overclock and a sound barrier kind of later on after Dia forced a kind of heavy dive onto the backline seemed to prove well. Now, Zani obviously able to keep up those heals, but there is going to be just a Dragon Blade. It's going to be a Dragon Blade war this next fight, which could be the final fight if there's no real engagement soon enough. Zani is going to get taken down low as the rest of the fight. Dragon Blade in from Vimto. Going to get one. Nixo is going to get fallen, though, by Ace as well. Yeah,
Shine is using his Dragon Blade to get active as well. As Vimto is getting caught out by OWLS. He's out on the coast, and AF and Shine just chase him down. The point is flipped, and I think that's Haz, right? That's Diametrical just walking in, taking his ground, holding on to it. OWLS are in the better position right now. They've got more people alive. They walked straight back on point, flipped it back. Dire is going to hold on for dear life. He walls himself to hide in a corner. the Kitsune comes in, so Demons is there to help him. Takedown almost lost it there as Owls just try and stand strong. The Immortality comes out to keep AF up. He very almost went down there. The Flippers come out, and Owls need to get in, or they will... Right, okay.
Oh! Double the Annihilation at the window coming out. There's no way for Unknown to keep away from the Owl's wrath. They do flip the point again, but the ult charge was not in their favor. That is a really clutch build-up from AF and from Zanny, getting those two ults up, just sweeping over Unknown. But that was a really, really close first point.
It really was, and like you said there, it was the difference maker of what ult pools were better, what ult economy was stronger. I do really love seeing this matchup of the Bat Ramatra against the Hazard, but as we're seeing on screen right now, Unknown have clearly gone right. Owls know something we don't. They came out on the better comp and changing up, but then Owls are also changing up. Oh, they're copying each other.
Well, they're copying each other without realizing they're not copying each other anymore. Vimto opting for this is what I would call the slow down comp, the time rewind. May slow, Magical Vortex, like every form of slow almost from each team. Ace is going to be on the Sojourn though, and Zanny now on to the Kiriko instead of the BAP. So again, both teams, two differences, but this time it's the other support and a different DPS for both.
Yeah, I think Owls were aware that they were going to have to move fast across that high ground. They've accepted that they were going to lose that fight. If they stayed in, they walked out, and look at this. They've now taken so much more space from that. But it's Nixo that picks up Lemon 01. He went a little bit Reddit there, got a bit deep into the backline and got punished for it. But AF is going untouched there as he takes down Vimto, and Ace finds a lovely headshot onto Demons. Diametrical is able to pick up one, but I think Owls will pick up this fight.
Okay, AF genuinely making a masterclass of Ramatra. The perk selection as well, I must say, came in perfect for that fight. The gravitation or the vortex having the ignition damage once pressing it again, and the extra like kind of pulsating orbs that are released for his primary fire just took Vimto from full to zilch so fast. That was such a good flip for Owls. Even when losing Lemon really early in that fight, AF proved really critical for that fight.
I mean, and it was key 5v5 for me, right? Someone dies, but you still don't lose the fight. There's a wall here to block AF, but he does have his ult, so I'm excited to see, will he pop that to keep himself alive? He doesn't. He doesn't commit it. He gets caught out by Demons from a really well-placed wall from Vimto. As there we have it, Unknown have just walked in. Now, as much as I was saying it's 5v5, you don't need, the first pick doesn't mean everything. If the first pick is your tank, it means everything. You cannot take that fight. As Shine is going to get himself staggered quite heavily there. His entire team is respawned and he just dies.
I genuinely think Shine opted, kind of saw the Titanic movie recently and really just wanted to recreate that scene with one of the members of Unknown, but they did not want any of that action. We do have a really big next fight coming up though. This is going to be literally ult heaven for both teams. Every ult really, apart from Annihilation, coming up for Unknown. And every ult, apart from Sound Barrier, Vimto though, shutting out that Dragon Blade build up for Shine. Again, he comes back just to get whacked in the head with an Icicle.
You imagine Owls wait here, right? They've got the time, they know they want to use their ult effectively, so they just hang back. But Vimto, where are you going? As he almost dies, goes down to 39 health on that flank, but it's Ace now taking the pressure as Lemon jumps out and almost gets taken down by Nixo. As I'm saying that, Ace runs in with his ultimate.
Yeah, it's going to be window from Demons, Annihilation from AF, Nixo with the overclock through the window, takes out Lemon, Demons finishing it off AF, Kiriko getting the boop onto Shine, which is a sentence I never thought I'd have to say, and that is a pretty good win for Unknown. Now, that was two ults coming in from both teams.
Ooh, some very late staggers. That was very late staggers.
Yeah, it was a really good throw from Diametricals there as well, but like, this entire thing going on is going to be pretty hectic, because Blizzard could shut any sort of progression down for Owls in this next fight.
Yeah, I mean, walking in when Unknown have the better ult economy, Owls are going to be stressing. Granted, they are 1-0 up on the map, so it's not the end of the map if it goes in. But the Blizzard comes in to try and completely shut out Owls. There's ults going everywhere right now.
Yeah, both support ults going out from Owls and a Sound Barrier from Kiriko to force out the potential Dragon Blade, but Annihilation from Diametricals. He's just going to walk on that Lemon, and it's going to get pretty sour pretty fast. Dragon Blade from Shine is going to get Nixo in the back line, but Vimto with a nice revenge kill, and this is looking like a swift 1-1 tie-up from Unknown. Really good team fights, and I must say, I was getting staggered really hard.
Yeah,
I think
we saw it a few
kind of
times.
the downfall for that.
We saw it a few times. I want to say I like how much Diametricals trusted his team there, right? He saw AF running into his front line, and he knew, okay, I've got my Annihilation. I can rip apart the backline on my own, leave my team to fight AF on their own, and then we can come together. They really showed their synergy there, Unknown. And I want to say it's something we've seen from both teams, though. The synergy being a key factor in their success in team fights so far.
Yeah, like, the overall kind of dynamic between these teams is that Ramatra is a tank with a Lucio to back you. That guy is going to run, and he is going to run with vigor towards your backline, and he is going to take out anyone on his path. The backup of the Sojourns coming out from Nixo and Ace, that, like, chip damage, I think really comes in really clutch early in some fights. But here we are for the final point of this map. Whoever takes it is going to take map 1. And both teams now opting off of the Kiriko on the Lucio BAP.
OWLS taking a lot of damage there. They've had to pop their immortality to stabilize, but AF is getting pummeled in this front line. OWLS have had to kite out of that fight quickly, but as soon as the shield is up for AF, he's able to walk back in. Now, Demons is pumping this support as Diametricals walks in and catches Zanny. This is where we're going to see the Baptistes come alive. There you have it. Look, as soon as Demons had the opportunity, he switched from healing and went straight to damage. Vimto there going straight to the point and getting 2 kills. I think that was a difference in pacing, right? That was a difference in tempo.
Yeah, completely. Oh, that freeze as well from Vimto. That perk coming back into Overwatch just brings PTSD to me. There's nothing worse than seeing a Mei running towards you and knowing you're going to get frozen with nothing you can do. But that last fight, really good kind of coordination from Unknown, because they had a really forceful push and they held that space. No idea from OWLS, I think, on how to tackle it from different angles. They want to walk in one direction, but this high ground is really hard to force through, kind of like just a brick wall.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very hard to play the Genji into a Mei, isn't it? But we're seeing OWLS try and make something work as Shine goes to the low ground and is looking to dash into the back line. He's taking a very long flank and leaving his front line sort of open to take a lot of damage, but it's Nixo that takes out Shine there in the back line. AF is able to take down Nixo, though, as that kill happens. The window has come out to try and stabilize for Unknown, stop the progress of OWLS on the point, but AF is standing his ground. As I say that, he gets run down instantly. I think that was maybe a bit of cast a curse from me. Demons takes down 2. He's changed to a DPS all of a sudden. As I'll tell you what, Unknown are looking a lot stronger here than every other point so far.
Yeah, I think a main key in Unknown's gameplay so far is getting out either a early pick, which they have done very well, or just focusing Zanny. That sort of resource management from their Baptiste, OWLS really haven't had an awful lot of weight. And Overclock from Ace is going to have to try and make that happen. Blizzard out from Vimto, though, solo will do onto both Zanny and AF. They're both going to drop. They do get the point flip, but... Oh! Shine! What a deflect!
Yeah, he's able to get a deflect, but I don't think it'll be enough. His team are falling like flies. They need to get their Owl Wings back, because 81% on the point for Unknown. That was, Unknown accepted. Okay, we don't need to hold the point right now. And as I'm talking, they're going straight in. They're trying to catch Shine again. He's been caught out a few times. I'm expecting a lot of ults. AF has had to sprint in, but Shine takes down Demons early. The beat is out for both teams as OWLS are just trying to control this point. AF's taking a lot of damage. He needs a lot of support to keep him up. He's got the form, and Lemon comes flying in to keep him there. Dia has his ult. I don't think he's going to... Oh, he does pop it.
Oh, he does pop it.
Okay, so he's walking in. He wants to get the kills. And look at that. OWLS had to back out completely. Nixo takes down Shine. Diametrical gets Lemon, but Ace is the one who takes down his counterpart. This is very back and forth right now, but I think Diametrical's Annihilation is going to just keep OWLS completely shut out. AF holding on for dear life, but that will be map 1 going to Unknown.
Okay, quick appreciation, because my reaction to that was audible even during that hectic team fight. Nixo pulls out a melee kill to cancel the Dragon Blade. Like,
his swing was better.
Apparently so. He's been performing in boxing, it seems, going head to head. That shut down that team fight's aggression for OWLS wholeheartedly. What a Demons doing really well there on BAP. I tell you what, for a first map, I think this was as expected. It's going to be a close series.
That was a nail biter of a map. I mean, what the first point went 99.99, and then the last point did look a lot weaker for Owls. And that was on their comp from the start of the map, right? Owls were the ones who preferred the Baptiste on the first point, and they did it really well. They then went to the Kiriko, and it didn't work. They went back to the Baptiste, and it still didn't work. So you've got to think, okay, did they sort of lose their heads mid-map a little bit with jump? You know, they tried to match it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, in my opinion. But really strong performances from both of them there. As Unknown just hold out. They take that third point with dominance.
I think a main thing that we do need to talk about is the switch up of the composition from Unknown after that first map. We did have, like, obviously Diametricals playing Hazard initially. Did prove very well, but I think it just kind of lacked on being able to bypass the Ramatra playstyle. However, then we obviously had the Mei switch up. And I think that Mei switch up really performed utterly well. Not in potentially the kill feed, but we saw early into that kind of just before that final fight happening, the last point, the Mei Blizzard forcing out both kills onto AF and Zanny. Like, two immaculate kills in that consideration, because it either forces OWLS to give up a team fight that's bound to happen, or re-engage with resources in a 3v5. I mean, plus, Mei walls kind of harsh into Ramatra.
It's exactly, we saw the Mei wall at the start of second point, didn't we? It just completely shut out AF, and then Owls lost the fight instantly. It's exactly what you said. As they pulled the Mei out, it does slow everything down, right? It slows the entire, the entire composition down, and we saw that tempo change completely, going from the Hazard to the Ram, going from the Genji to the Mei. That tempo change was really good for Unknown, and they controlled it well. Now, we've seen a lot of brawl. We've seen a lot of head-to-head sort of bashing of Ramatras. Now we're going to, as you can see from my Zenyatta statue, we're going to one of my favorite maps, Circuit Royale, where we're going to see a lot of poke damage. So I love this. If there's one thing I like commentating, it's people that can headshot.
And then I hear the awful voice of a French woman ready to take everyone's head off, potentially. Depending, actually. Obviously, both teams do have a hero ban each, so do we reckon we'll see a Widowmaker ban? Do we reckon we'll see, like, Sigma, or potentially a tank that's more played? Will we see, like, even maybe a carry ban? I feel like carry on this map can be decently strong when played. Who knows, though? Honestly, a lot of different kind of play styles for this map, but my prediction is it's gonna end up the high-level threats are gonna get taken out by either team.
Yeah, well, and there's an important point to bring up here, okay? Owls are a PC-based team, Unknown are a console-based team, right? I always find it a funny conversation. I've been on both sides of it, right? Whether or not the aim assist makes it fair. For reference, we have aim assist on for the console teams right now. So, what the PC players always say is that they don't like... Oh, as I'm speaking, the hero bans have come clear to us. Both people I was excited to commentate are gone. Thank you, guys. Thank you for ruining my evening. GCS have banned Widowmaker, Unknown have banned Zenyatta. So what I was going to say is, yes, console teams say, oh, well, if they have keyboard and mouse, they have the advantage for Widowmaker. PC teams say they have aim assist. The Widowmaker crosshair just goes onto my head. What can I do against that? It definitely is a conversation there. So Owls have gone, well, the aim assist we're saying is too strong. We're not playing into that. Get rid of the Widowmaker. Unknown are maybe going more of a, okay, we like to play fast. We saw their Hazard. So maybe they're thinking, let's get rid of the Zen so we can absolutely run in. Because if there's one thing Zen can do really well, it's slow down a Hazard, right? You Discord him. As soon as his armor disappears, his block is nigh on useless from that point forward, right? So that is one point that massively affects the Hazard. Running into a Zenyatta, you're just headbutting a wall.
I think the other thing that should be mentioned with Zenyatta, specifically into Hazard more so, but the other tank I'm going to mention is Winston, is that an awful lot of the time there is a huge kind of diverse part of Zen's kit that is only being brought in with Overwatch 2, which is his melee. Like, that knockback can decently help, not maybe against Winston, but against Hazard, like, if he's ready to leap in and, like, creating that little bit of space might mess up his jagged wall. It could do a bundle of things if you're able to get that off in time, like with a Discord, it does decently well. But I do think we're gonna see primarily those. I don't know if we have bans of Zen and Widow. Do you reckon we see Dive? Because on this map, high ground is very threatening. So a dive tank could knock the defending team kind of off their podium.
Yeah, I mean, look, if your Zenyatta stands, like you said, the knockback, if your Zenyatta stands anywhere near the edge, as soon as a Winston, a Hazard, a ball, well, maybe less the ball, jumps on top of you, boom, they're gone. You kick them off, you Discord them, your team rips them to shreds. So I'm genuinely offended that these two teams have banned these characters. Maybe with my dictatorship powers, I'll add Circuit Royale back into the pool for another game so I can cast these. I'm heartbroken, yo.
Wah, go cry to your mommy, boy.
Thank you very much.
Listen, it's one time. We will happily see Widow and Zen totally in the same map that isn't Circuit. I am just excited because I'm seeing an Ilahi pick, and that's my
talk me through Unknown.
Well, currently we're seeing just a lot of poke. We saw
a lot of damage.
A lot. Like Ash. Also, we should also mention Bueno Rex making his debut for Unknown on this series as well. Everyone else on I was staying the same. So we have Ash, Hanzo, Ramatra again from Diametricals, Demons back on the map, and Kiriko on Illari. We do have Shine and Ace back on those Genji and Sojourn. Lemon and Zani back on Lucio Bab. And then we also have a Sigma, which I think is kind of a standardized tank on this one.
But what I'm confused is they're playing Brawl backline with Sigma. That's not what you see. Shine going over the top low as he uses his double jump to secure it. Although he was noticed by Nixo and had to use his deflect early, gone straight for the health back. So not able to use the, dash through. And he's just getting poked out by Rimlex right now. Wow, I love saying that name. It's been a while, Rimlex. So as AF walks this high ground, he hits a rock onto Diametricals, and Diametricals instantly is half health and just had to give out that space. You could see that with the Ramatra pick, he wanted to be able to hold that sort of forward high ground positioning, but he cannot do that when he gets rocked like this. AF is just pumping the numbers. Sigma is the Junkrat of tanks. He can absolutely demolish your front line if you stand too close. Oh, but he almost goes down. Very quick shield there to keep him alive as Nixo is trying to just get active here. And as I say that, he gets caught out by Shine. He went a little too close to the sun there, and Icarus, his wings are gone.
Ironic to say that when we're watching Illari. Yeah, Nixo really pouring in a lot of damage, but AF with a double kill with the same primary round. Shine gonna follow up on Demons. This composition really just like AF and Zani again. I feel like they have a really good duo dynamic. They just walk together. They farm those ults up, and they have both cap one inside like what, just over a minute. That's really good for Circuit.
You can see that AF is comfortable getting up in people's face on this Sigma, right? It's something you tend to see from Sigmas where they want to stay back, and he's gone, no, I know I can hit my rocks. I will get up in their face, and I will hit them. Oh! Shine! Shine takes down Nixo. Talk me through it.
I guarantee you he just sat there and hit the clip button. 110%. We will be finding that clip probably on TikTok, Twitter, every social that Shine might have in the back. That is disgusting. Nixo just swapped the Tracer as well off of Hanzo, and he's unfortunately been put down again.
Yeah, I mean, working with Fireman in the past, I know he's taught these Owls, when you've got an advantage, use it, and that's what they did there. And they are continuing to use it. Ace takes down Demons with a perfect headshot, as Owls are just marching forward. They still have 4 minutes on the clock, and they're coming into almost the last fight of Point B.
Yeah, that window from Demons looked to get really good value out, but once he gets one shot by Ace through Zani's window, not happening. Here we go with the Bob. The solar eclipse, the eclipse of sun is going to hit two, but is anyone going to burst? No. Both Winrelix and Kiriko and Diametricals. What is happening to Unknown? They have the ult advantage in that situation, but they get pierced down.
So yeah, Kiriko went up with the Illari ult, but Ace just
who no one knows.
No knows. Shining Sun or something. Ace just picked her out of the sky there. And look at this. Owls only used Window and Sojourn there. They're still holding on to Blade, Lift, Beat. Kiriko on the flip side has changed onto this Lucio to maybe try and help Diametricals back out a little quicker. But AF, look at, he's holding the space. He's saying, this is mine. I know I've got my lift. You want to walk into me, you will hit the skybox. He's backed out a little bit. And this one thing I've said about Owls, they know when to kite, right? But look at that rock. He's placed it and he has pulled both supports up into the air. How they both hold on, I don't know. I think it's to do with Lemon's ultimate as Diametricals pops his Annihilation and walks into the front line and gets nothing from it. But Nixo takes down Zanny.
It's just carnage right now. Everyone is currently all over the place fighting so many different targets. AF is going to get the finishing on to Kiriko. Demons though with the aim. Demons aim seriously bursting down so many targets. What a post bomb from Nixo. Doesn't get the finisher on the Ace.
No.
Retaliation.
Neither team.
That fight was, oh my word, I don't even know.
Yeah, neither team can walk in there. You know, with Zanny going down early and then Lemon getting caught with the pulse bomb, Owls could not push. But Shine is looking to hold on to their space, right? He's pushed Demons out, and I know he has just screamed to his team, there's no immo, let me blade, let me blade, let me blade.
Yeah, and especially with it up and coming, he gets one. Lemon gonna finish off Demons as well. No dash reset, but I don't really think it matters. Diametricals with only Kiriko on Lucio with those healing. That is not going to prove efficient enough. Oh, not really fully capping point currently, and Nixo getting a good kill on the Ace and the Immor. Could turn the tide for this contest.
Yeah, I mean, look, Owls have 3.5 minutes on the clock. I don't think they mind losing one fight, and I imagine we might see them soft kite here. They're walking in, oh, never mind. They popped the window. AF stance is on point, and Zanny is pumping the numbers into both teams. He is absolutely destroying damage. But as I said, that Demons pops a burst of headshots into him. Kiriko takes down AF, and I think that will be all that Owls can achieve without losing a team fight. That is the first team fight they have fully lost.
Yeah, properly. Full reset. Everyone back to spawn. Not even, to be fair. Ace was kind of walking back after that initial death before the fight began. But if I'm unknown right now, I'm kind of happy that their pace has been dismantled partially. Like, this kind of composition really has it that they either walk high with a lot of speed, or they walk low with a lot of speed, or they can mix it up as we're seeing here. We have Ace and Lemon trying to take high ground away from Winnow-Rex, but Nixo keeping them both in check on the back line. We do have a good few ults. We are going to see two of them, Window and Pulse Bomb, out from Nixo and Demons. No pickup from Nixo with the Pulse Bomb.
Yeah, I mean, surely Owls are screaming, that's hide. And as I say that, no. AF goes in with his lift.
You need to stop.
Finds Demons. Everything I've said so far has been wrong. He's punched Diametricals to poop him into the backline, but Nixo has followed up with him. Diametricals able to get two there. Look, we're down to 2 minutes now for Owls to push this through. Could this maybe be the start of where Unknown say, hang on. We know you sweeped us right at the start of this map, but this is still our map to play for, to win for.
If we're looking at it from a kind of alt management, we had a little bit of, okay, nice emote next. So we have a lot of like alt management that somehow whenever Owls invest, they lose. Like, it just seems to be a pattern. But with the ult advantage now to Unknown and an early kill on the Ace, I do think Unknown are in a very good position here. They have 3 big ults, and there is going to be 4 for Owls, but it is kind of just dependent on target priority and when they want to use those in this fight. Nixo though, Shine overextending as well, and it's going to get cut down. Like, that timer's down almost a minute. That's barely one fight that's happened.
Yeah, that was a teaser of a team fight, and that is a minute gone instantly. We're seeing Unknown play this sort of hybrid style where they hold the high ground, and then as soon as the fight engages, they jump on top with Diametricals. There's an early beat coming out from Kiriko that prompts the beat from Lemon, and Shine is able to pick up Nixo there, as maybe he flew too close to the sun this time. Diametricals, though, is popped his Annihilation, and what? This is what we keep seeing time and time again. It looks like Owls are going to win the fight. They've got an advantage, and Unknown, absolutely, they play slow, and they get a pick out of nowhere. This is what Unknown have done. I mean, it's this third point, right? This third point is very hard to play, attack and defense. I thoroughly do not enjoy it for the rest of this map. Owls try and go quicker. They know they've got 20 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, it's this sort of situation now of, if you're Owls, what do you do in this situation? Do you play high? Do you play low? You kind of have to try and take one side quickly. 10 seconds left. There's an overclock with Winnow-Rex and a window. Ace is going to pop up, but Shine's going to drop. It's kind of a foreign situation. There is going to be a good kill on the Demons, but Zanny's also going to drop as well.
Yeah,
Ace is just gonna run out, and Winterix might just take it here.
Yeah, you've got to be scared of the Sojourn with the window. Ace was able to get one, but he will not be able to go up against that damage boost. We're seeing Shine jump in with the Tracer. He's not able to get to the touch. I'll tell you what, that was massively a tale of two halves.
Yeah, I think every supporter of OWLS thought, oh, you know what, you're doing well, and then in the second half, unfortunately, they kind of hit this brunt force of every single time they wanted to invest, they wanted to push past this Ramatra, like, slow, like, play style, and then once that Kiriko speed boost, again, that sounds horrible to say out loud, it's just grammatically incorrect Overwatch-wise, but whenever Kiriko is investing any sort of resource, it's always going into Diametricals. That beat that they used early on was only for Diametricals to kind of get a lot more of a forcing position, shut out the space for OWLS, and then they can't take that high ground, they can't rotate, they have to engage. So every single time, like we can see by the damage total currently, AF and Ace primarily are doing so much, but the split for Unknown is just far greater. They're all chipping in, they're all piercing down, and their target priority is nothing to be not mentioned. It has been really clinical, I think, for some of these fights.
The amount of times you said nothing, I thought you were going to say it was awful. Yeah, it has been really clinical, and they've had split target priority, but they've done it well. One thing I do want to highlight from that scoreboard, just before we get in, Zanny, much more of a pacifist Baptiste compared to what Demons has been doing. So they've got, Zanny's healing numbers were incredible, lower damage numbers. Demons had a bit of a 50-50. Now, Nixo's going over the top. We saw Shine do this before with, little to no success, but Nixo has had a similar result. As Shine did that, though, his team ran in very quickly and did kill the entirety of Unknown earlier. Again, we're seeing the tank matchup of Sigma and Ramatra, but the other way around. So AF is holding that high ground. Again, though, similar. Look, as the attacking tank walks in, he just steals the high ground. AF taking an absurd amount of damage. He's still doing nothing to block those punches. And both. Ooh, Ace though taking down Nixos. I was about to sing Nixos' praises for following up the tank damage. You can't be letting yourself get caught out like this. I think that pick is going to allow OWLS to hold on and have another fight here.
Yeah, Nixo, again, like literally one death on a DPS and he is straight over onto that Tracer. However, as I said before, this diametrical and carry like formation seems so efficient. They coordinate so well. 4 meters left for OWLS to try and defend early and more to save AF from this rush of damage. Plans out from Demons as well. Ace is going to drop low. Nixo's going to have to recall. And this fight is mainly on the front line, but it's going to be a trade. Kiriko out for AF. Nixo's going to take out Lemon. Shine is in the back line, but I don't think Unknown are really going to have any sort of worries. They just dismantle slowly and surely. That is a very similar time bank, I think, for both teams.
Yeah, very similar. What you did say there is slowly but surely. I think Unknown struggled a bit with the cleanup there. They were really clinical mid-fight, but they maybe took a little bit longer to get those last 2 or 3. We're seeing fights of two tails, right? We're seeing a front line and a back line that are having a lot going on for both teams, and I think OWLS are struggling with that, whereas Unknown seem happy to play in 2 little packs. OWLS really want to play compact.
Someone get the Jaws music. Oh well. Okay, that was potentially a big whiff, but it's alright. Zanny is going to pop the window. There is a Kitsune from Demons, but the amount of damage coming through that window is not going to get repaired by anyone in this roster. Winrox is going to get jumped on by Lemon, and OWLS taking a first fight win much earlier than Unknown did on that defense.
Yeah, well, look, Demons jumped in there to Suzu Diametricals, but at that point, the damage had already been done. Demons going straight over to the Baptiste. Both these teams are really enjoying the Baptiste here, aren't they? It's... right, let's quickly break down the auto economy because the fight is imminent to break out. There is a lot going on for OWLS that they can hold on to here. These DPS are having an incredible matchup in the sidelines as Diametrical tries to sprint through and AF is just punching him right back in the face.
He is using overclock there. I think that was a good kind of utilization of it, but they didn't push forward whenever Unknown kind of back. The beat drop is going to come in from Kiriko. This Annihilation could go mental after the sound barrier disappears. Dragon Blade going to go in from Shine. is going to get a few slashes on the backline. The Immortality, this is a 1v1 of the ages. Meanwhile, everyone on the front line of ours is going to get taken out. ES, Lemon, and Zanny. It's just AF and Shine left. Defend for themselves. Both critical on 1 HP, and I think they're both going to get either taken down, having to walk out. Nixo cleaning up both. Lemon is in there and is right back out.
Yeah, I mean, look, every second counts when you haven't got 3 points, right? So he knows, look, I need to touch point. Yeah, those. So we saw the matching beats. We saw the Dragon Blade go into the backline. Shine pulled the Dragon Blade. Demons played incredible there. I know he died in the end, but to hold on to your life for that long and not allow the Dragon Blade to go back to your front line. I mean, look, we saw both teams go down to 2 people. Sadly, Unknown had the support, OWLS didn't. But Diametricals, look, we've seen it time and time again. He goes so aggressive with the Ramatra and just holds his block. And as he does that, he gets in. And Nixo is able to follow up and get the picks. Gets 2 picks. And Diametrical pops his Annihilation to take down AF there.
I'm not really even sure that ult was required. There was a pretty good kind of sweep through for Unknown, taking out 2 really primary targets, being the 2 supports for OWLS, but if they want to wrap that up fast, I guess.
Yeah, I think it was needed in terms of Diametricals used his form early. AF still had it up. I don't think he would have killed AF without the form. But that way he's kept himself alive and he can enter this fight. Otherwise, he'd be walking back from spawn right now. Ooh. But the DPS line of OWLS go to the high ground to find Winrelex. Kiriko, though, chasing up there and finds Ace. Kiriko getting both of the DPS from that high ground. I mean, look, Kiriko is playing a DPS Lucio. What a sentence as AF tries to hold on to this point.
He's gonna have to hold on for a while. He's getting a really nice follow-up, though, onto Demons. AF is just sitting patiently in the corner, waiting for his demise. He does stall for a while. Ace does get the overclock up. I don't know if they can do it. It's going to be close. Shine does get the kill onto Winrelex. Zanny is going to pop the window. It's really back and forth. Nixo is just harassing that backline slowly but surely. Diametrical is also going to get dropped, and I think the rest of Unknown are going to fall one by one. That was a really good stall from AF, who is now on Hammond.
Oh, and what is happening here with Nixo? I think he wanted to maybe try and get the...
He's going to get staggered.
Oh, what a stagger. I think maybe he was trying to get a pulse bomb, but surely that's useless. I mean, look, the backline of OWLS there, they held hands in that corner and they did it so well. But Winrelex places those shots perfectly and takes down Ace early. Unknown are going to want to use this. There's only 2 minutes on the clock. They need to start moving forward. This is realistically, with this map, 2 team fights.
Well, you say that when I think necessarily this is only going to have to require 1. There is 3, almost a 4th ult for Unknown online in this immediate fight. Meanwhile, Dragon Blade and Beat are both only coming online, but Lemon drops Nixo with 2! Gonna get the kill early on. That is going to cement their second map win. I think almost guaranteed. Overclock from Winrelex also gonna solidify the kill onto Shine. Can Lemon get a touch?
Yeah,
no, it's gonna be 2.
They got one of the stall picks to try and get out there, but dying with that beat is really a tough pick. And Nixo just played that incredibly from that backline, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we see on the play of the game. One of his plays. Yeah, there we have it. Look, show me that Tracer play again, because I'll tell you what, it is a thing of beauty from Nixo right now.
And it's not even the same one, but who cares? It's still a Tracer play of the game. Nevertheless, probably still killing Lemon anyway. My goodness, that is such clean tracking, my word. Yeah. That is why I think Nixo, on that Tracer, like, on the Hanzo, as we saw first round, kind of deleting health bars of, well, more primarily AFs, but not really getting a lot of value. Same in the Echo. Once that Tracer came in, I think OWLS just really kind of struggled to deal with it. They did so well in getting, I think, some really good team fights in that second point and going into the third, but again, it does seem to be once one of them got picked off, the rest of the dominoes started to fall right into place for a win for Unknown. So 2-0 to them.
Yeah,
they're looking comfortable.
The fact that it's 2-0 seems weird, right? It's been close. It has been close, but Unknown just have seemed to be a little bit more composed at times, and more composed in a disadvantaged position. That is what I'm feeling, as you light yourself up there.
Yeah, it's getting very dark.
Yeah, it is getting dark because we're getting further into this game now. 2-0 at the moment. Unknown are in the advantage seat. They could win on the next map. Will they take it 3-0? Will Owls be able to come back? I think we should take a little break before we find out.
Yep, I think there was no better segue. So we'll take a few minutes, guys, and after we will have obviously our map 3 on the great push map, New Queen Street. So we'll see you guys then.
Cheers.
I'd like to make a formal apology to everyone as of a few minutes ago. Apparently, I'm completely washed in doing this. It is not New Queen Street, and furthermore, it is not a push map. I don't have any fake tiers or anything. This is authentic. It's New Junk City, the literal Flashpoint map.
Yep.
I'm stupid. Please forgive me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I forgive you, Kyo. So look, what we're seeing here. What we're seeing here is, look, yeah, Unknown have taken map 1, they've taken map 2, but both times it's been a close scoreline, 2-1, 3-2. This, I'm thinking, could be a very close map. I'm to be honest, assuming we'll get all 5 maps out here now. After the performance from Nixo, I have a feeling Trace. I take it back. I was going to say I have a feeling they banned Tracer, but Tracer's already been banned. You can't double ban. So I'm excited to see what these teams cook up for us. And there it is. Okay, Genji and Macho. Apparently, Owls are bored of it. They're bored of diametricals walking through their entire team with Annihilation and being unstoppable. And Unknown maybe seeing that Shine comforts to the Genji a lot, thinking, okay, maybe he's going to become a bit of a problem on New Junk City. They're shut him down. Let's not even give him a chance to open that door for this map. You imagine Brawl, right? You imagine some form of Rush Brawl compositions here.
I think it's probably the standard, but for a lot of this map, I feel like, again, Ram is the character you would see the most. Maybe we do get a little bit of Orisa action. Maybe we get some kind of weird off-meta, maybe like a Roadhog or even a Junker Queen on that tank role. I'm unaware. But it is going to be like completely different comps. There's no way in any realm that neither Unknown nor OWLS will run Genji, or run the same comps that they did without that Genji and Ram core. So it's going to be interesting. I think we might continue to see the Tracer, BAP, Lucio, or even just Lucio carry again. I think that is going to be a very kind of common theme for Flashpoint especially. This map is very diverse, but every point is kind of open a lot of the time with high ground advantage, so you really want to be taking those fights quickly with that support comp. I'm just more so curious, what will the dynamic be between the DPS then? Will we see Tracer Soj on both teams, or what do you reckon?
I like you said, I honestly don't know. I mean, I'm expecting the Orisa-ish comps, but I honestly do not know. We've seen a lot of Sojourn from both. Go on.
Or Hazard, by the way. Should actually point that out. Hazard we did see, obviously, initially. So, potentially, could be another time for the Leaping Scotsman to take an appearance from Diametricals primarily. AF, of course, does have, I think from before, it does have a Wrecking Ball icon, so maybe a Wrecking Ball comp, although I think with Flashpoint, there's a lot of diversity, there's a lot of kind of common picks. It's more so just how each team will assemble them together. Will be very interesting. And of course, this won't be the only game we have going on. We will have more next week as well, with week 2, round just I think it's 3 and 4 going forward. So
round 3 and 4 happening, but we'll be seeing the round 4 matchup next week of 2 console teams. 2 console teams that if you've been in that scene, you will have heard of. It's budget approved, another Dystopia team, and EMC Chimera. They will be going head to head next Sunday. So that'll be same time, 8 p.m. if you're UK, 8 p.m. start. It will be, yes, similar setup with right now. Casters to be announced. But I think we're about ready to jump straight into New Junk City, not New Queen Street.
Correct. Very correct. Whoever said that before surely must have had a Frazo on the head, because who would do that, right? No idea. I must say, actually, obviously, we don't have cams on, but for anyone who, whenever we do transition back, I do currently have Junkrat and Junker Queen right behind me. So I think this is home turf for me. Well, if I was playing. Love both of those characters dearly. So here we go. We are into potentially, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I thought this series has been very tight. This could be our final map. This could be a 3-0 sweep for Unknown. And considering both these teams actually lost their first, I'm surprised. It has been a very dynamic game so far. But right now, the matchup is the tanks I expected, the DPS I expected, the supports I expected, apart from Unknown's DPS lineup.
Yeah, surely that's changing before they walk out the doors. Okay.
Well, it's not even that. It's
We've been scammed.
Venture?
Oh, if you're not trusting in the Venture for Flashpoint, you've not seen it done well enough. They're going for a TP play, and then I'm assuming going back to the Venture.
Yeah, wow,
so
it is. Yeah.
Both teams are going to get to the middle, roughly the same point, but obviously the Venture will be a little bit behind here for Unknown as they meet in the middle section of New Junk City. What a beautiful map this is.
Yeah, I think a major key in this game is going to be the fact that Diametricals is going to have to try and do as much in the back line to prevent AF from pushing hard into the front line. And even though that's happening, Diametricals is proving up a little bit bigger. Ace is going to drop, as is Zini, with the help from Vimto going undercover. And Shine as well on the Tracer this time around instead of the Genji. AF is going to kill Diametricals, so potentially a fast recontest coming in for OWLS, but Unknown looking like they are going to get this point off the rip.
Yeah, look, OWLS played that. They as soon as they saw they had the Hazard, they played slow, they hid, they made sure they didn't die so they could go back in before the Hazard gets back in the fight. And Nixo is taking the punishment for that as Lemon goes flying through the sky to take him out, but taking a lot of pressure from Vimto as he sits on his high ground. Diametricals is back though when he is doing his signature eat dinner in their front line. But it is OWLS that are getting the kills here. Kiriko able to take down AF as
Woo! Definitely got some practice in. That was literally like custom game parkour had just kicked right in to escape the clutches of Shine, who does have Pulse Bomb. And what I will mention is that Unknown currently is, although they have 40% captured on this first point, they don't really have any ults coming up for this next fight. Meanwhile, Lemon and AF and even Zanny, they're going to have these ults that they can try and pace out how they see fit. 40% for both teams now. That is a good jagged wall from Diametricals as Unknown are seeming to take the backside of the point, while OWLS are now going to have to force themselves into position. Nixo taking out Ace though. There is trades back and forth. Vimto taken out by Lemon. They're going to get revenge kill by Kiriko. And I think it's all Nixo and Kiriko. They're killing everyone on OWLS. What?
Yeah, and Shine just put the pulse bomb in there. I was not expecting that. I mean, look, we saw that was an out rotation play, right? Unknown walked in. They said, we're not going to fight you there. You've got the Orisa. We don't want to fight you there. We are going to draw you out, split you up, and pick you apart.
Especially with this sort of composition, you really want Hazard to be making that space. And with Nixo on this Sojourn, proving just as efficient with his shots, with his picks. And now we have what is going to be a colossal usage from both teams. Kitsune Rush and Tectonic Shock going to go in for both teams. It's going to be 3 ults so far. Nixo is going to be critical. Getting jumped. Good cleanse onto AF. Nice Sound Barrier in from Lemon. We're going to have a tear down from Diametrical. He's going to get 2 with the trap in the... Oh no, it's not the Ajax, but it's the Sound Barrier going to get taken out. Lemon drops with Zany. There's no supports left for OWLS. And Nixo with his overclock is going to rack up 3, potentially the 4th onto AF. Never mind, Diametrical steals it, but what a great team fight from Unknown, still with the Sound Barrier in their pocket as they get the first point.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Diametricals on this Hazard map 1. We knew what he was capable of. I mean, that was remnant of the first point, right? He pops his teardown, and then Ace just absolutely... Nixo absolutely rips apart with the overclock. That was a dominant performance, but I do want to talk about Zanny, able to outlive Vimto's ultimate and then get back into the team fight. But Ace is caught out by the jagged wall of Diametricals. All Diametricals wants right now is OWLS frontline, and he goes in and he gets it. Trying to hunt down Zany there, but is not able to catch it. Shine falls to Demons.
Yeah, this Diametricals Hazard is honestly just a choking hazard for the rest of OWLS. They cannot seem to take flight against this comp. They just seem to be smashing up against this constant forcing pressure coming out. Nixo and Diametricals obviously shoving themselves against Ace, who did not have any tricks up his sleeve to escape. So there is going to be another early point capture, this time for Unknown, as they do have another post bomb and Sound Barrier. This is going to be a pretty good team fight, I think, coming in for them this time around. Diametricals though, that's really aggressive! Is he going to fall? No, he's back up! Like a leapfrog from the night.
Someone does fall.
No way! Oh my word, it's insane. Kiriko with the kill onto AF after using, just before using Fortify. Vimto cleaning up Lemon with a 1 clip. What a fight from Unknown, even with the Sound Barrier. Okay, well, ignore that part.
Went for the late post. Look, what I've got to say there, right? I don't know if this is what they did, but it almost feels like Diametricals went in knowing he was going to get booped, knew he was going to be able to use his jump and wall climb to get back in, knowing that he was pulling OWLS to that sideline. If that is, they honestly might be some of the tactical geniuses of our generation. Vimto goes in to try and find a pulse bomb there, but it's Demons that opens the fight with the Kitsune, followed up by Zanny matching it. And Ace takes down Vimto in the backline. OWLS rotating around to get to this point. They've had to move around the jagged wall, but Ace finds 2, finds 3, looking for more, but there is no more. You have killed them all.
Yeah, unfortunately, Nixo and Kiriko both gonna scoot out of there. I think for a fight standard for OWLS...
Ooh.
Okay, Shine just... Nixo keeping Shine in check fully. That's like the 3rd time Shine has tried to flank, and Nixo is just taking him out every single time. This could be a good fight, though, for OWLS anyway. They do have a Terror Surge. They do have a Sound Barrier coming up again. Tear down coming out from Diamagicals, hitting 3. Is there any follow-up from the rest? There's not. Unknown. Not going to make a full capitalization, but they're going to get the kills anyway. Ace and Lemon both going to drop. I don't think there's enough resources for OWLS to use to recommit to this.
Yeah, no, look, they're here. They're going to try and walk on. Shine takes down Vimto, but they're not able to get on for the late touch. They are just going slowly. Is Diamagicals, is he going to go off the map? No, he will not. As he...
Oh, he's going to get the environmental kill with the jagged wall.
I think he almost got the damage kill anyway. AF was not on much. Look, we're seeing a bit more dominance here than we have the rest of the game.
Yeah, like, this is the thing. I genuinely think playing Hazard into Orisa is a bit of a 50-50. Orisa can keep Hazard in check, but whenever you don't have those resources, Hazard has a free line into any character really he wants. There is going to be an overclock commitment here coming out from Ace. Going to look for any primary target here, but I think for most of OWLS, it's just going to be a 1v1 on the front line. Ace is out in the middle of nowhere. What a shot from Nixo. Lemon going to get taken out. There's no sound barrier to commit onto this objective. Here comes the Kiriko Diamagicals Slaughter duo, pushing onto AF on the high ground. Vimto going to drop down and take out Zany. And again, Unknown are going to take this point first. And going to get a few good staggers to boot. This is looking really assuring for Unknown as a team.
Yeah, look, Ace tried to open that fight with the overclock, and Unknown just played around corners. The change to this map means that there's a lot more space to play in this point, but there's also a lot more cover to play behind. So they were able to wait and allow Nixo to pop his overclock and just absolutely tear it up. You know, he took Hazard's voice line. As AF goes in, had to use Fortify early. He had the overhealth to keep himself alive momentarily. Shine falls, though. The ult used by AF to keep himself alive, but he's just walking backwards here. There's not much he can do. 65% OWLS need to die quickly and reset.
I kid you not when I say this. Nixo on this DPS line, with Vimto pressuring the back line, this is a menace to society as we know it. 90% coming up for Unknown. It's an early consideration from Demons. Are they just going to try and force out OWLS? Nixo, you need to stop doing that.
They're trapped.
Oh my word, the Pterodon. The Pterodon C9.
Diametricals.
That's insane. The sound barrier gets no value and he's just trapped, fighting to get out. That is a 3-0. That is, DB, I think I speak for both of us. That is not what we expected coming into this.
Not at all. I mean, it wasn't what I expected before the game. It definitely wasn't what I expected after map 1. I mean, let's see some more beauty from Nick. So, what a machine this whole series.
Oh my. Oh my. This man is just unstoppable on the Sojourn. That is literally the series wrapped up. I think every game going down every single map. Like, it became apparent on Antarctic Peninsula, we were going to have a pretty tight series. Like, first map, 199, and the second map, a little bit more to Unknown, and then the third map, obviously the most. Then going into Circuit, both teams seemed to perform really well on offense, and then on defense, obviously, did seem to prove a hard struggle for both, but obviously Unknown getting that last checkpoint. And then New Junk City was just a complete flip on its head. Even though OWLS were able to get so much, they played so well with their management. I think just to focus down one target, they weren't able to get enough picks and fights or whatever, or just any sort of resource.
Yeah.
And then they just, Unknown just seems, the reason I think is apparently known.
I mean, look, I think Unknown played that amazingly. I think OWLS, we saw them struggle when they didn't have the momentum, right? So when we look at Circuit Royale, they opened it, they won first fight, and then they held onto that for so long until they lost one fight, and then they got stopped. We look at that third map, I think part of it was they never got the momentum started. They were never able to get the ball rolling, and a lot of the time, throughout the whole series, they did struggle a lot with staggers. Now, I think both teams played incredibly, but I definitely know who I'm going to say my MVP for that series is. He's a man who jumped in chat halfway through.
Actually, hold on. Should we say it after 3? I think we're on the same page here.
I mean, look, if you give me a countdown, I'll say it.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Nixo.
Nixo.
Yeah, look, he's a man. He jumped in chat to say, "Look, I'm not even a Tracer player, guys. Calm down." And he showed us that. He went on to the was it the Venture? He struggled a little bit on the Venture, I will say, but then he went to the Sojourn and did really well. So
I thought that was not. I thought that
it was
Vimto
Vimto. It was Vimto on the Sojourn.
Or-
Apologies,
yeah,
apologies.
or not. Yeah.
It's very warm.
On the-
But yeah, I
Couldn't
was
see-
very impressed the whole way through that series with how he performed and how he was able to take advantage of non-advantageous positions.
Mhm. Yeah, I think especially like we also I think it is very safe to assume we could give a lot of credit to Unknown. Everyone played phenomenally, even Kiriko not playing Kiriko at a single point throughout that entire series, which will forever be the funniest thing to me on the planet. But OWLS as a team, even though they did get swept in this series, it cannot get understated how well they perform. Like
Yep.
with AF on that tank, that Ramatra first map, and also that Sigma second map as well. The gravitational fluxes getting really good like value onto the support line of Unknown, forcing out an awful lot of peel or just commitment. Especially as well, I think Shine with that Genji shutdown, his Genji did have some really good highlights, and then obviously the support line as well. Like the carry or the Lucio Bap, I think for them was really efficient, like in playstyle, but when it came to ult management, I think Unknown did have kind of a better baseline to work off of going through with fights.
Yeah, there was a lot of fights that Unknown were going in with the better vault advantage based on the fact that they were a little bit conserved with their trigger fingers the fights before. But yeah, I mean, OWLS, I think, really showed how well they played as a team. You know, I'm remembering Circuit Royale, where 3 of them stood strong against the entirety of Unknown to hold on for an extra 2 minutes, taking it almost all the way to the end of that map. Really impressive from both teams. It genuinely does not feel like a 3-0. I mean, you know, we're coming up to an hour and 15 here. It wasn't exactly a quick 3-0. I'll definitely say that. But thank you so much for joining me this week, Keo. These guys are watching. Thank you, chat, for coming out. But I do want to give a quick shout out to the people who you won't see, the people who are hiding away. I'm talking about Hippie. I'm talking about Lagaleth, Blizzard, Headrammer, the people, Smiley, the Cody, the people who are making these beautiful graphics, running the production. Look, we're just talking. We just sit in a seat and we say words. So thank you so much to those guys from XYBA, from Dystopia, from CGL for helping us run it so far. We will be back with you in just over 1 week's time, next Sunday, for Budget Approved versus EMC Chimera. I am unbelievably excited for that game. I know it will be a close one. So please come and join us again for that one. If you've enjoyed this, if there's anything you think could be changed, could be improved, let me know. But if you want to give love to anyone, definitely let me know. I've had a good, fun evening of Yukio.
Yeah, honestly, like I think for us as well, I will speak from like both our behalves. This is the first time either of us have ever done anything of this production. I will back him on the shoutouts to everyone on both sides of the CGL and YXBA. Like just everyone involved has just made this possible. We are now no longer just an audible like figmentation of people's minds. They actually get to see us and the expressiveness, and it's great. It's so fun. I love shouting at the camera. But yeah, I think as well, what will be said is that next time I'm casting here, anyway, I will no longer be 21 as well. So this is my final cast as a 21-year-old, which I find funny. But I'll get everyone to send me lovely presents and buy me like V-Bucks and Overwatch credits close to the time. But yeah, it was really good fun. Thank you guys, obviously, for joining us. We will be back, as DB said, on the 31st of August for Budget Approved versus Chimera. That is going to be a set worth tuning in for. But I think that's all for me for now. So thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, look, Unknown have put themselves in the playoff positions now. Like I said earlier, they're playing for that prize pool. So they're £100 cash for the winning team. They're playing for that. Hopefully, next time we have people about, we'll be able to bring them on stream, get some people talking to yourselves. But thank you so much for joining us this week. That will be it from the two of us. So join us next Sunday. Thank you for watching. Cheers.
Yes.